Let's chat about, a couple things. There are a lot of people out there I have spoken to who dream about pursuing their business, right? Pursuing an idea of a business. They work at 9 to 5. And let's start with the most basic individual in regards to the simplicity of life, which is no significant other and no kids to support. So single person, man or woman. I think that's, if you're going to start a business, you can do it, no matter if you have 10 kids or 0 kids, whether you're married or not married. But I think it's easier if you have no one who's depending on your income.
Right?
100%. Yeah. So let's talk about that for a second here. Somebody out there is listening to this radio show and they're like, yeah, I could never do that though. I went to school for this, I learned this, my dream would be to do that, that'd be amazing. Mindset is, I think, one of the biggest factors of success, period, whether you're an athlete, whether you're an entrepreneur, whoever you are. You've got the wrong mindset, you're probably not going to be the highest scorer on the court or on the field. You got the wrong mindset, you're probably not going to succeed at being an entrepreneur. What would you share to people who don't believe they could do it? It's just a dream. It would be amazing if I could be an entrepreneur.
That's a really good question. So first of all, you have to meet people and become friends with people that are already doing what you want to do. Because that in itself will change your belief.
Right.
It's like, like for example, I remember rock climbing, and you're the first guy to do the climb, and you only get 5 feet up the thing, and then your friend just flies up the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then the next time you do it, you just fly up the whole thing because your belief went up because you saw your friend do it.
Yes.
And you knew what was possible. You saw how he did it.
Right.
And and the other thing was you're like, man, if that guy can do it, I'm gonna, there's no way I'm not gonna do it. So just become, and again, be helpful.
Yeah.
Offer to help this mentor or whatever. Don't just come out and just say, hey, I want you to be my mentor. Offer to pay them. Just say, hey, do you do coaching? Because I'm willing to pay you. Most times they won't even charge you, or at least buy them lunch or whatever. Just add some kind of value to their life.
Sure.
And then they will tell you, step by step. Like when I talked with Randall Wall. And I don't even think I went to lunch with Randall. It was just in between meetings, before and after. I would just go and I just ask him questions. And he was happy to answer my questions because we were buddies. And, it's... so you have to have that person that has done the climb.
Yeah.
For you, because you're not going to become that believer just sitting in your basement. You're just going to be the same person.
Yeah.
You have to increase your belief by seeing people actually do what you want to do. And then just go and then do what they tell you to do. You won't even know what the questions are until you start doing it. So, you hear that all the time. Just get started. Just get started. You have to just start doing it. I don't know any other way to say it, but just start doing whatever it is you're going to do. If you're going to be a YouTuber or whatever, just break out your iPhone or, meet a YouTuber first that's successful, talk to them, how did you do it, and then do what they tell you to do, basically.
Love it. I love it. I tell people that you've got to make it your normal, right? Because things that are normal, you just do because they're normal, right? Yeah. Things that are abnormal, you probably don't do because they're abnormal. And so, you came from the sushi industry, I came from the hair industry, right? Flipping houses was not normal for me. I did not see people in my industry flipping houses. But going to the real estate, you said this in the beginning of the show, going to the real estate investing associations, you met the Randall Walls, the Matt Staines, the Matt Atkinsons, the list goes on and on.
The Yoshi Shiraki. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Whose normal was to flip houses, right? Absolutely. And they were the guy on the rock wall that you watched go up. And you're like, oh yeah, these guys are climbing up this wall. It's possible. And then it becomes your normal, and before you know it, you're flipping houses normally, and it's not even foreign anymore. So I love how you say that, go find those people who are doing it.
Absolutely. And here's the other thing, there are a lot of analytical people.
Mm-hmm.
Analytical people tend to not take action.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be like them saying, I want to learn how to rock climb.
Yeah.
And they never touch the rock wall or put on a harness. They're just watching the guys go up there and like, huh, I wonder what that would be like to put my hand on there and then put my foot on there, and you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, just put the gear on, start touching the rock, like,
yes.
go.
Yes.
And when you're on the rock,
yes.
you're actually touching it and you're climbing.
Yeah.
You will know what questions to ask
yes.
the person, like, hey, when you do that, do you put your hand this way? Like, how do you hold it? Do you push? Do you pull it? But you cannot learn how to rock climb by watching other people rock climb. You have to rock climb. Like, I know that sounds so elementary, but a lot of people, they just get so in their head, they don't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to learn by not doing.
Right.
Like they say, you learn by doing, not by, reading a book.
Yes, exactly.
So.
And you know what's great about life is that if you're that guy who struggles with taking action because of the risk that you might lose or get hurt or whatever, I always said, if I'd have no desire to open up a coffee shop, but if I did, I'd go work at Starbucks, right? And feel what that wall looks like from the guy who's climbing the wall every single day at a successful level.
Absolutely.
And then take those traits and go open up my own coffee shop.
100%. So here's one that I wanted to hit on, because I hear this one a lot, like, because people are always like, well, I don't even know what I want to do. Like, that's a common one, right?
Yes, and that was actually my next question.
Oh, really? Okay,
yes.
great.
Okay, so I'll just ask it, because you're going there already.
Yeah.
People that don't know what they want to do,
yeah.
How do they find their passion?
Okay, so this is the analogy that I like to use. It's like there's a buffet, right?
Yes.
And pretend that you're at a buffet, but you've never eaten anything in that buffet.
Right.
Like, how do you know what you want to eat?
Right.
Start eating it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
People are like, just like looking at the buffet like, I wonder what I want to eat.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to eat. It's because you've never tried it before. Like,
right.
The only way that you're going to know is to start eating.
Yeah.
Put the thing in your mouth, chew it. If you don't like it, spit it out and move on.
Right.
But you have to try it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So what I was watching Dancing with the Stars one day. I'm like, oh, that looks so fun.
Yeah.
And then me and my wife, I took her and we took a lesson. Like, that wasn't that fun. It looks way funner when I watch it on TV. I'm just gonna watch it on TV.
Yeah.
And there's things like flipping homes where I thought, that doesn't look that fun. You know? And I'm like, oh, this is actually fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's actually rewarding. So, and I would say, because everybody, this is like the most generic, ubiquitous advice that you'll get from any guru out there. They're like, follow your passion. It's like every time, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I don't really believe that, because sushi was my passion.
Right.
Like, that became the worst job that I ever had in my entire life. Seriously. Right. And I was like, I don't get it. I'm following my passion.
Yeah.
Then I did real estate, which totally wasn't my passion.
Yeah.
And I'm like making these fat checks, and I'm like, I think this is my passion. Just making fat checks, like, because now I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And instead of making the sushi, I just go and have somebody else make it for me.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
If you're passionate about sushi, now you can just go have someone do it for you.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yes. And that's a great analogy. I've always, I think I told Bailey this on a conversation a long time ago. To me, figuring out your passion, knowing what you want to do for a living your whole life is kind of like dating, right? Beautifully attractive young lady across the way. Everything about her looks attractive. You start dating, she's the meanest human you've ever met, and you're like, yeah, that's definitely not who I'm going to marry. And so you start dating other women until you find, or other people until you find the one that you resonate with the best.
Yeah.
What's crazy about it is that we graduate from high school at 17 years old. We're expected to know who we want to marry as far as a career, to go study that in college. You're only dating that one, whether it's being an attorney, an architect, whatever it is, you're only dating that one career, and you never even got a chance to date being a real estate investor, being a sushi chef, being a hairstylist.
Well, it's like backwards.
Yeah.
Like, before you even try it, you need to spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars on this college education.
Yes.
Like, how many times do you hear about people going through, getting their doctorate or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Becoming a doctor, and then they like hate it.
Yeah.
They hate it.
And they quit.
And it's like, you can go and do an internship and get that education probably better than going to school in some cases.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not going to be a doctor by being an intern.
Right.
But things like flipping homes or whatever, like you can intern with somebody and get some hands-on, literally like try the climb, make sure you like it before you jump in. And that's the other thing too. I think people feel like because of that mentality, they feel like, okay, if I pick this, then I can never change my mind.
Yeah.
But there's a difference, and this was really hard for me to understand and get over. It's because I was always taught, like, you never quit.
Right.
You are not a quitter. You know what I mean? Like, if you quit, you will never be anything. That kind of like mentality. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not quitting.
I'm changing
this
my mind.
just really sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm not happy.
Yeah.
I'm moving on to something that will make me happy.
Right.
Like, this is not quitting.
Yeah.
So I think if you realize, like, just because you decided to go to the buffet and pick up this cantaloupe, that doesn't mean that you have to eat that for the rest of your life. If you don't like it, there's like a million other options that you can be perfectly happy with. And so don't feel like you're being married to something, like, and it's permanent. Like, nothing is permanent. Like, I may at some point not do real estate. I don't know, but for now, I'm stoked. I mean, it's. But let's say, I don't know, in this world, like, nothing surprises me anymore. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not adaptable, you're gonna get crushed. In this world. I mean, like, if you were in the restaurant business, in these past few months, and that's like all you were committed to do because you're not a quitter, dude, you're done. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta learn how to pivot and move because the world is so unpredictable. You just have to, be able to just kind of navigate and correct and be adaptable.
And I think the key word there for me that resonated the most was you just want to be happy, because you look at arguably the best basketball player who ever lived, Michael Jordan, decides that he wants to go play baseball. And sucked. He started in the minor leagues 3A and dropped down to the 2A or something like that. Here you have a guy who's at the best in the world at a certain sport, but he realized he was a quitter. I mean, he was the best. He just changed his mind and wanted to do something. He knew baseball was something he always wanted to pursue. And even though he sucked at it, he was happy doing it. So there's nothing wrong with changing your mind. Especially if it's driven by happiness, right?
For sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, we are at the end of our show, Jonas. I want to thank you so much for joining me today and sharing all your words of wisdom with our listeners on entrepreneurship.
Always a pleasure, bro.
No, thank you. Do you have a place that people can either follow you or contact you? Do you have Facebook?
So just my name on Facebook, Jonas Otsuji. And that's probably the best way.
Okay.
Just Jonas Otsuji, OTSUJI. On Facebook.
If I Googled you, what comes up at the top?
Oh man.
Survivor.
All kinds of interesting stuff.
Everybody go Google Jonas right now.
Sometimes my real estate clients, because I don't lead with that. I don't say like, hey, I'm Jonas, I was on Survivor. But a lot of them do Google me, and then they pretend like when I meet them, they like pretend like they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then like after meeting them like 3 times, they're like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, but I have to ask you this question. Survivor. I'm a huge fan, and and then I'm like, why didn't you say that in the beginning?
Yeah,
like, they didn't want to be weird because they like
Googles you.
Google stalked me.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Awesome.
Sure.
Well, if you guys missed any part of this show, you can go to our website, utahhomesweethome.com. Scroll down to the very bottom. You'll see the social media icons, YouTube, Facebook, all of that good stuff. You can definitely watch these shows there on our YouTube channel in case you missed any of it. And Jonas, thanks so much again.
Thank you, brother.
I appreciate it.
Love you, man.
Oh, I love you too, man. All right, and I hope everybody else has a spectacular rest of the day. Okay, before we part ways, in case you have a dog or know someone else who does have a dog, I wanted to take a quick second to show you the Snap Leash. The Snap Leash can literally do so many things, and I'm going to share with you one of the many cool things that it can do. As you can see, the Snap Leash is designed with 2 swivel hooks, one on each end. This end has a cushion stitched into it to make it comfortable when walking your dog. Now, all you have to do is take this swivel hook, put it into this very first grommet, and now you've got your handle. Okay, so now let's imagine you're at the park and you want to secure your pet quickly, safely, and easily to a park bench, a tree, or a pole because you just want to sit down and relax. Well, all you need to do is take this swivel hook, remove it from the very first grommet, wrap this leash around any size tree or pole or park bench, and put it into the appropriate grommet. And now you have secured your pet quickly, safely, and easily. And when it's time to head home, another great feature about the Snap Leash is you can simply wrap it around your waist for hands-free walking. Lastly, if you ever accidentally forget your waist bags at home, these grommets make a great place to fasten the waist bags so you never leave home without them. And if you want to see all of the other cool things that the Snap Leash can do, then please just click on the link below and find out why so many others are falling in love with the Snap Leash.